welcome to Dire Headlines. I'm Wendy Chen. Thank you for joining us. Coming up in today's top stories, we join Tzu Chi volunteers in Lesotho as they hold rice distribution to help residents through the cold winter. In our continuous reports to investigate the cause of smog in Indonesia, we learn why it is important to safeguard our peatlands. And the trend is changing in Taiwan as employment rates are soaring for graduates from private universities and technical colleges. First up in Lesotho, a landlocked country inside South Africa, Tzu Chi has carried out distributions since 2007 to hand out rice to help underprivileged families. This year, apart from the bags of rice, volunteers also included Tzu Chi's signature eco-friendly blanket and brought smiles to the faces of many residents. On the third day after arriving in Lesotho, the 3 containers carrying 6,000 bags of rice from Taiwan are moved to the distribution venue.
So we wish we can success and everyone will go smoothly. Are you happy?
Yes. The distribution work goes smoothly thanks to the help of local volunteers. Beginning in 2007, Tzu Chi has been carrying out winter aid distribution each year in the capital city of Maseru.
This year marks the 48th year of Tzu Chi, and the spirit of great love has brought them here today.
It is here that one can see how great love transcends all boundaries.
Thank you, I'm so happy.
With only 10% of its land suitable for farming, Lesotho is heavily dependent on food imports. Poor economic growth also means that 40% of the population lives below the poverty line. Thus, the 2 bags of rice and a blanket is a gift of love that will help residents through the cold winter. Though having to carry out 5 distributions within 2 days, Tzu Chi volunteers and local volunteers work hand in hand to bring love to those in need.
Thank you, the Motekua volunteer.
It's nearly 5 p.m. now. This is when the sun normally goes down. Today, the weather has been perfect as it has given us enough sunlight.
Though the journey home is long, residents' hearts are filled with joy and happiness, knowing Tzu Chi is by their side. In the village of Kose, on the outskirts of Zhangzhou, China, lives a Tzu Chi care recipient by the name of Huang Huimu. Severely injured following a car accident 14 years ago, Huang was left incapable of supporting his family. There to help was Tzu Chi, which provided financial aid and emotional support, as well as assisted in the rebuilding of the family's ramshackle house.
Firecrackers are set off to celebrate the official completion of Tzu Chi care recipient Huang Huimu's newly refurbished house. Friends and volunteers all gather to celebrate this auspicious occasion.
If not for Tzu Chi's help, I would never have been so blessed as to enjoy a new home.
14 years ago, a car accident left Huang severely injured. Not only was he no longer able to work to support his family, but the house the family lived in was later condemned by the local government.
The house that they lived in before was really bad. If it rained hard outside, it would leak inside the house.
Although Huang's relatives worried about how he and his family were going to make it through, they had no financial means to help. Fortunately, Tzu Chi came to the rescue.
When Tzu Chi builds a house, they do it to the standards of their own homes. Throughout the construction, the volunteers came to check on the quality of the work being done to ensure the house was one that would last.
At the housewarming party, volunteers brought second-hand furniture and daily necessities as gifts. With a book of Jin's aphorisms and a crystal engraving of the 10 paths of the heart being the family's most treasured items.
Everyone has given them so much love. I hope that they will raise their children well, and when the children grow up, they can do their share in giving back to society.
Although he is disabled, he continues to strive in the areas of both work and his family. He said to us that once he is able, he will do his best to work on behalf of others.
The Huang family no longer lives in fear of the future, but secure in their new home, looks to the days ahead with hope and anticipation.
Moving to Indonesia, after a fire last June left 13 families homeless in Pasar Baru village, Jakarta, Tzu Chi volunteers carried out aid distribution in the immediate aftermath and later also helped rebuild their houses. As the residents recently moved into their new homes, volunteers hope to inspire them to join Tzu Chi. This is 85-year-old Grandma Rositi, who leads Tzu Chi volunteers into her new home. Her home was destroyed in the fire that hit this community last June. Thanks to Tzu Chi, however, she has a new place to call home.
Thank you, Tzu Chi Foundation, and thank you, God. Without your help, I will not be able to rebuild my house.
In addition to Grandma Rositi, 12 other families in Jakarta's Pasar Baru village also moved into new homes. As Tzu Chi volunteers delivered the keys to the new houses, they also extended their heartfelt blessings to each of the fire survivors.
We wish these residents good health and happiness after they move into their new homes. We hope in the future we will see them in our ranks.
Following the disastrous fire, Tzu Chi volunteers carried out a plan to help the fire survivors rebuild. At the same time, they tried to encourage everyone to join in community volunteer programs.
There are many residents living in this village. Those who joined in this cleanup were once care recipients of Tzu Chi. We want to introduce them to our ranks because, as Master Zheng Yan says, the more good people, the better off a society is.
With their volunteers vest on, local volunteers joined Tzu Chi volunteers in cleaning up their community.
Before, we didn't pay attention to recycling. We just threw everything away without sorting. But now, I will first wash plastic bottles and then give them to Tzu Chi volunteers.
Other than practicing environmentalism, volunteers also seized the chance to introduce Tzu Chi's bamboo coin banks to the residents.
With Tzu Chi's bamboo coin banks, we can save a bit. Although we cannot make ends meet, we are still happy to save some money to help the less fortunate.
Despite the terrible fire, the survivors feel blessed as they came out of the tragedy with new homes and a new future with Tzu Chi. In Malaysia's Kota Kinabalu, 27-year-old Mida and her husband, both from the Philippines, were struggling to make ends meet. Their youngest child also suffered from malnutrition and, despite being 16 months old, was unable to stand. Upon learning of the family's plight, Tzu Chi began providing financial support and milk powder. After 3 months of care, the infant not only regained his health, but is now able to stand up and walk.
Under the scorching sun, Tzu Chi volunteers in Kota Kinabalu visit care recipient Mida, only to find that her 16-month-old baby is suffering from malnutrition.
A child at this age shouldn't be like this. He seems weak and can't even stand. He's already a year and 4 months old. Normally, they can stand on their feet. He's still lying down like a baby.
We don't have enough money. With my husband's income, we only have enough to buy rice and vegetables. I had to give my child sugar water. If we buy milk powder, the rest of the family will have to starve. That's why my child is sick.
27-year-old Mida and her husband are both from the Philippines, and with no stable income, the family of 5 have been struggling to make ends meet. In April, Tzu Chi volunteers began providing subsidies to the family.
The parents are foreigners and working odd jobs, so they don't have stable income. We felt that we need to help this family, especially with providing milk powder.
After 3 months of continuous care and support, Mida's child can finally stand on his own and even walk a few steps.
Having milk to drink, my child is healthier and stronger. He's also eating porridge. He's healthier now and is not getting sick. He can sit up and walk too. I'm really grateful for your help.
The timely assistance not only helped Mida's child get better, but also brought a ray of hope to this family for a better future ahead.
Continuing with our in-depth report on the cause of smog in Indonesia, today we look at the peatlands, which makes up 50% of the country's terrain. A peatland is a wasteland with generations of organic soil from decayed trees and leaves and is able to hold large amounts of carbon dioxide. However, when this land is drained and cultivated, the carbon dioxide contained within is released, thus causing a rise in atmospheric temperature and smog. Here's more.
This is Zhouzai Wetland Park in Kaohsiung, Taiwan. It's been 11 years since this 10-hectare land has been restored. Now there are over 100 species of birds that make this area their home.
We've cleared some areas to leave bodies of water. This is a deep pond, and it is hoped that with large open spaces, green-winged teals will migrate here.
Wetlands serve as a groundwater recharger and even helps absorb some of the Earth's carbon dioxide. Overall, they are very important from both an ecological and environmental point of view. As humans continue to restore wetlands all over the world, peatland, which are a type of wetlands, continue to be destroyed at 1.5% a year. Actually, what may seem like natural disasters, such as the recent haze in Indonesia, flooding, or even forest fires, often stem from prior human destruction of the environment.
According to Wetlands International, 99% of forest fires have been started by humans. Seeing peatlands as abandoned fields, farmers will drain them and then burn the surrounding trees.
Peatlands is an unfamiliar term for many, but simply put, they are the origins of coal. Peat is made up of generations of decayed trees and decomposed leaves. This moist forest is located mostly in upstream areas and holds large amount of the Earth's carbon dioxide.
Although peatlands only makes up about 3% of the planet's surface, they contain about 30 to 50% of Earth's carbon. Their ability to do so comes from the fact that peatlands are made up of layers of partially decayed vegetation accumulated over hundreds of thousands of years.
Peatlands can hold up to twice the amount of carbon dioxide than the world's forests, and they can be found in 126 countries. These forests can absorb carbon emission from factories and protect against flooding. Once these areas are destroyed, the carbon dioxide contained within will be released into the atmosphere and thus speed up global warming. As well, with peatlands gone, the land will be unable to hold excess runoff after a storm, and flooding can occur.
After peatlands have been destroyed for agriculture use and the carbon has been released, it's hard to recover from. Even if new trees are planted, their ability to hold carbon dioxide is not even half of that of a peatland.
The cause of the smog in Indonesia can be traced to the massive amounts of carbon dioxide in the air from the burning of peatlands. The Wetlands International organization is currently working to stop the continued destruction of peatlands, so to avoid a repeat of the smog Indonesia and neighboring countries faced last month.
On June 27th, city volunteers in New Zealand invited residents of the Tapakuna Stroke Club and their family members to a tea gathering at the local Jingsi Hall. As the residents were mostly senior in age, the presence of Tzu Chi brought a boost of energy to the event.
Bidding each one good morning as they get off the bus, New Zealand city volunteers welcome residents of the Tapakuna Stroke Club to the Jingsi Hall. Among the 47 participants here today are family members and stroke patients. As most of the residents are senior in age, volunteers hand the baton over to Tzu Chi to host the event. As if seeing their own grandchildren on stage, the seniors respond passionately. First-timers at learning sign language, the grandmas and grandpas all managed to keep up with the music. Wanting to join in the cause of doing good deeds, the message of the Bamboo Coin Bank was embraced by all. Never imagining that they too could make a difference, with the volunteers' encouragement, these seniors are now more confident of their own abilities and ready to work on behalf of others.
Last summer, Hijikata Rei, a volunteer from the Japan Tzu Chi chapter, opened up the garden next to her house and an empty storefront as a venue where volunteers and residents could gather for weekly meetings and events. Making good use of the kind gift, for the past year, every Tuesday and Friday, Tzu Chi volunteers have been holding activities to strengthen the bonds between themselves and also recruit new members to the Tzu Chi family.
The master says that every one of us is a bodhisattva. Whether it is family or friends, we should all support each other, just like the Chinese character for person, which has two equal parts to stand on.
Every Tuesday and Friday, close to 20 residents gather here to listen to the volunteers' words of wisdom. The venue was donated to the Buddhist NGO by a local volunteer, Hijikata Rei, who wanted Tzu Chi to have a space where they could hold activities on a regular basis. Traditional dances from Taiwan and Japan are both showcased for the benefit of everyone attending.
I am already 84 years old, so I hope for my remaining years I can work on behalf of society and give whatever I am able to, even if it's not a lot.
Also part of the donated space, the garden nearby has become a space where community members can get in touch with nature and learn more about environmental protection. Using natural farming and fertilization methods, everyone works to create a harvest that is both abundant and good for the earth.
% of Taiwan's university graduates hope to secure a job upon graduation. However, are their skills aligned with the demands of the workplace? Surveys conducted by Taiwan's job banks show that employment rates are now dominated by those who graduate from private universities or technical colleges. In our next report, let's see why their skills have become the most sought after in the marketplace.
College graduates specializing in hospitality have bucked Taiwan's unemployment numbers to become one of the most sought-after professions in the marketplace. Taiwan's universities have begun to place more focus on practical experience. Research conducted by job banks indicate that of the country's 147 universities, more than 50% of the 37 leading institutions are technical or vocational training colleges.
Most students from technical education systems obtain their license upon graduation. Their language ability will be an advantage as well.
The survey shows, whether public or private, of the universities and technical colleges, the sectors which guarantee employment are nursing and medicine or hospitality. Universities such as Yangming University or Tzu Chi University have outdone other traditional elite universities in these fields.
If they have the skills of if most third or fourth years have practical experience in their relative fields, it's easier to obtain a license and they stand at a competitive advantage in the workplace.
With the changing dynamics of the modern-day work environment, the job market has also undergone a major reshuffling. Those institutions which were once viewed as average have now become the most sought after among students. Zhang Wenjun, a staff member of the Uli Tzu Chi Hospital, graduated from Tzu Chi University's Department of Medical Technology. His skills are now his golden ticket to a promising future.
What one learns in clinical medical practice is similar to what is being taught at medical laboratories. It will be easier for us to get the hang of our work in the future as it's all being taught at school.
Rome wasn't built in one day, and the same is true for the 95% employment rate of Tzu Chi University's nursing department. With Taiwan's serious shortage of nurses, the students' solid experience in clinical practice and professional background offer everything employees are looking for.
Since the beginning, we have always emphasized the importance of practical education. Apart from letting our students practice and learn through personal involvement, they will also be tested on it.
Meanwhile, Tzu Chi University's Department of Medical Informatics encourages its students to use their creativity and seek ways to combine medicine and information systems. One such outcome was the development of a system which can record a patient's calories and electrocardiography.
Apart from lectures, we also arrange practical classes and have teaching assistants on site to guide our students.
Clearly, professional competence and the development of skills are worth more nowadays than a degree from an elite university. This is also an aspiration which this generation of youths hope to strive towards.
Since 1994, Tzu Chi volunteers have regularly visited the rundown areas of Tijuana on the US and Mexico border, where they held aid distributions and free clinics to aid impoverished families. In 1996, Tzu Chi helped build the Tijuana Tzu Chi Elementary, which not only gave local children a chance to study, but also served as a community center, bringing local residents together. At this year's graduation ceremony, US Tzu Chi volunteers once again showed up to extend their blessings to the graduates.
Performing a Mexican dance are students of Mexico's Tijuana Tzu Chi Elementary School. At the graduation ceremony, the students put on their favorite costumes as part of the celebration.
This year's graduates have shown a great change in their temperament. The clothes they put on are stylish and clean, unlike in the previous years in which the students' clothing was worn out and dirty.
In 1996, Tzu Chi built the Tijuana Tzu Chi Elementary, providing local children with an opportunity to study. Over the past years, more and more students successfully completed their studies here, and their lives have changed for the better as a result.
This year, our school got first place in a computer teaching contest. We have shown a great improvement in teaching and in motivating the students' interest for learning.
Before the students move on to the next stage of their lives, Tzu Chi volunteers offer their blessings and wish them all a prosperous future.
Back to China at the end of today's program, we join teachers and students of Tainan and Hualien Tzu Chi middle schools as they arrived at one of the schools Tzu Chi helped rebuild after the 2008 Wenchuan earthquake, the Mingsan Senior High School in Sichuan province, for an exchange trip to pass on Tzu Chi's philosophy. We'll leave you with these images. Thank you for tuning in. Goodbye.